Hey crazy friends.
Hey guys.
It's Jay and Francis with Finding Crazy. We're a family of 9 who live full-time in our RV with 5 of our kids as we travel the country to see all the national parks. And today we're excited because we are continuing our journey up through the New England area, and we're not going to go see a national park today. We're going to go see a national seashore. We are super excited to be exploring Cape Cod. So we are headed to Cape Cod National Seashore. If you're not familiar with national seashores, they are also a part of the national park system. And so we all know about the 60-something national parks. That's what we normally think about when we think about national parks. But under the national park system, there's actually 400-something different sites and areas, and that includes national historic sites, national monuments, national battlefields, national river lines, and national coastlines. And so what they've done is they have preserved this area under the National Park Service to keep it pristine, and so you can come in and visit it and see all of the beauty and history just like you would in a national park. And the really nice thing about all of those is that if you have an annual pass or one of the free passes that you get for your 4th graders or an access pass for disabilities like we have, it covers all of those entrance fees to all of those, which is awesome, especially if you're a big family that's trying to be budget conscious.
Yeah, and that's what we definitely are doing, because when we were out west, we talked about this earlier when we were in Rhode Island, is that there are so many amazing things on the East Coast, museums and different areas to tour, and boy, there's just a lot that you can get into, and it can get expensive. And maybe if you just have 1 or 2 children, or if you're on vacation and you've saved up for this and you've planned for these particular spots, man, they are rich and you should absolutely do them. But when you're living a lifestyle of travel, everywhere we go has amazing sights to see and things to do. And we've said this before, to stay on a budget, we can't do all the things. And so when we came into the Cape Cod area originally, I really wanted to go to Martha's Vineyard. We began to look at the price tag on Martha's Vineyard, and it was expensive. It was expensive just to get to Martha's Vineyard for our family, to be on the Steamboat Authority and was the ferry over there, and then just to get the bus pass. Right there alone, we were going to drop about $150 just to get to the island, and that's not anything there that you would want to do, anything to eat, or even with a picnic lunch. It was already blowing the budget just for one afternoon in one place, and we're always moving on to another place, and there's something really fun to do there as well. And so we've decided that we'll do that another time. That'll be something we'll save, but this time it really is great that we can offer, there's an offer to do things that are free. We can stay within our national park focus, but also stay budget friendly and visit the seashore. And we also get to do the Junior Ranger program. So we're super excited about the fact that almost all of these that you go to will have a participation in the Junior Ranger program, and this one is no exception. So we're going to go in today, we're going to get our books, and then we're also going to do something super special that this is probably on our 2nd opportunity to do, which is to be a part of the Ranger-led program.
Most of those, because of COVID over the last year, have been canceled, and we've been super disappointed about that, because that is the Junior Ranger program. Us working through the books with the kids is great, but that is no substitution for having a ranger or educated volunteer that knows the history and the stories, that can stand and really teach them hands-on type activities and learning. And so we're getting to do one of those today, which we're really excited about. So between Cape Cod, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard, there's something like 22 different lighthouses, and I have always loved lighthouses. I mean, there's just something about that, tower standing there on the coastline, just the beauty of it and what it represents, of the safety, and we just love it. And so we're actually going to see, there's several in the Cape Cod National Seashore, and they're doing a ranger-led program today. We're going to go and learn about the Three Sisters. All right, so we just got done with the Ranger program at Three Sisters, and it was super neat. As always, I'm just impressed when we do stop and do a Ranger program, just all the information that they have, and it's just like the things that you didn't know that you didn't know. All the little nuggets about the lighthouses and how they were used and when they were moved, and I mean, it was well worth the, probably 30 minutes that he talked to us.
And not only that, but it was interactive. We were the only people at it, so it was just a personalized, just Ranger program. But also, we got to ask questions. We got to get other recommendations in the area and what we really need to do to spend our day here. So the Rangers are just, like we've said before, your travel agents.
Right.
They know the most about this area, and they have so many different types of experiences and things that we didn't even know about today.
And so now we're walking up to the Nauset Lighthouse, which is the potato chip lighthouse.
It is the potato chip lighthouse.
So if you've ever got a bag of Cape Cod potato chips, this is the lighthouse that is on the bag. So we're going to check it out, and then we may have to go find some potato chips, because now I'm hungry for potato chips.
Yeah, and I will tell you, there is a little trail that goes from the Three Sisters Lighthouse all the way to the Nauset Lighthouse and the beach there.
Only like a third of a mile.
Yeah, and if you're going to find out a good bit about the role that erosion has played in this area, they lose somewhat to 4 feet to 12 feet every year of erosion, and they've had to move lighthouses several times. And so this little area here, and then the lighthouse and the beach area will really show you a glimpse of that, so that you can see what they're talking about. So it's a great little trail. It's about a third of a mile, and it's the quickest way to get there. What have you got, Joe?
Chips.
What kind of chips, though?
Sea salt.
Sea salt. But what is on the front of this? What's this right here?
Lighthouse.
You seen that lighthouse, Joe?
Do you remember the name of the lighthouse? The Nauset Lighthouse. That's the iconic one. We found the potato chips at a gas station. Good for lunch.
Okay, so we just got finished with fun picnic lunch at the Dome Rock picnic area, not to be confused with Dome Rock, which is what we thought everybody was saying until we looked it up on the map.
It looks like a dome.
It's Dome, yeah. It's D-O-A-N-E, named after somebody, I guess. But this giant rock that looks completely out of place with a nice picnic table beside it. So we enjoyed that, and now we are taking some advice from the ranger that led the Three Sisters Lighthouse program, and the lady that we talked to at the visitor center, and we're driving all the way up the Cape to Provincetown. And so anytime you talk to somebody about the Cape, they do this.
Yes.
Because that's how it's shaped
So
with
cool.
the hand at the top that kind of goes back in. And so we were like down here for Three Sisters, and we're going up to the top to Provincetown. It's about a 40-minute drive from all the way from the bottom all the way to the top, but it's been pretty so far, and I think it'll get even prettier. They say up at the top that there are some really beautiful dunes, and it's a really big historic area.
Yeah, so we had no idea until he was talking with us about the fact that the Pilgrims actually made their first stop in Provincetown. And so there is a monument there, a Pilgrim Monument that was set up by, I think, the Cape Cod Pilgrim group, and it was a privately erected monument, and the couple of presidents did, like the Cornerstone, Theodore Roosevelt did, and some other ones helped to do it. But it is a privately erected monument to the Pilgrims' very first landing on Provincetown. And so they landed there, and they stayed just 5 weeks, and that's where they drew up the Mayflower Compact, and they spent some time there, and that's before they sailed over to Plymouth. And our ranger said they actually tried to go back down to where Chatham lighthouses are, and then that's down here. I'm pointing referring to that because that's what he did. And so, but then it got too rough and the seas were really, really difficult there. And so they ended up coming back and landing at Plymouth. And so we're going to head down here, or up here. We're going to head up here and we're going to see the monument. We're going to check out these incredible sand dunes. And then we are going to see what else we can get into. What are we looking for out here?
Seals.
Have you seen any seals?
Yeah, we've seen like 3.
Wow, but what does that mean? They're seals. What did his sign say?
They're sharks.
What kind of sharks?
White sharks?
Great white sharks. Are they in this area?
Yes.
Have they seen them here before? Yes, so we have to be super careful, but we are enjoying a day with seals, huh?
So we had a super full day. There was so much more to do than I think we anticipated. After our picnic lunch, we drove all the way up the Cape to Race Point Beach and got an unbelievable surprise there. We thought we were going to see a life-saving museum. It happened to be closed. So we just walked out on the beach and got to see
seals. So this area is just filled with beautiful wildlife, but the seals are just amazing. We saw, well, we don't know how many we saw because they were bobbing up and down kind of all throughout the coast right there, but they were not very far out. The kids and I got to see them, and Jay, it was so wonderful. But there's a part to that you have to realize, and as soon as you walk out onto the beach down through those huge dunes that are just everywhere, you see a sign, and it's about great white sharks. So
wherever there are seals, there are the things that eat the seals.
There are, and they said at that very beach there had been great white sightings, of course, but also people who had been injured and even killed by great whites. And so it is no joke that there are a lot of precautions that need to be taken if you're going to swim. We did not swim.
We did some beach combing and no beach swimming.
Yeah, it was kind of rainy and it was windy, and so, but we loved just getting to see all the differences. We mainly hang out on the Gulf side because we're down from Georgia, and a little bit on the Atlantic down there, but this one's just filled with beautiful different colored rocks, all kinds of neat things. We got to see, it was like a egg packet for shark eggs, and so, and all skates and all that kind of thing. So that was really cool because it was in our junior ranger book. We actually got to see one. So it was really just an amazing time. We loved it there. And
then we were able to drive kind of the rest of the way around the hook of the top of the Cape and got to see 3 more lighthouses. So Race Point Lighthouse is on the opposite side from Race Point Beach, and you kind of see it from a distance in one of the parking areas. But then we got a really great surprise. We drove down into Provincetown and found the Provincetown Causeway, which is a big stone dike across basically between kind of the mainland and the edge of the hook, which is called Long Point, and you're able to hike across it. So we were able to hike out. It started raining on us, so the rocks started getting slippery, so we didn't hike all the way. But you can't hike all the way across, but we were still able to hike far enough out that we were able to see both Woody and Lighthouse and Long Point Lighthouse from right there. So super cool.
You should really do that. So if you have kids that love to rock scramble or any type of different kind of hike, this is your hike. I will say for the twins, it was a little bit disconcerting for them. We held their hands the whole way. It started to rain, so things got a little slippery. So you do need to be really careful. There are large openings where where you have to kind of jump from one rock to another or kind of find different footing. So I would say, be careful with young children, be careful with people with mobility issues, but you should at least go see it. Go as far as you're comfortable, but we loved it. And we didn't go all the way because it was a little bit, well, it was pretty cold, and the rains were coming in, so we turned around. We knew we had to go back, but you can go all the way across, and it's just a really neat place because that's the very tip of the Cape. There's a lot more hiking, and to get to that lighthouse is pretty strenuous. It's about a half mile through very slippery sand and all that, so it's definitely for the adventurous, but we enjoyed the part that we got to do.
Yeah, big time, big time. And then we drove back through and drove down kind of the other side of the Cape on 6A, which is more the slower historic side through the houses and actual Provincetown itself. So we got to a good view of the monument, and there's a big memorial, it's not the right word, like a historic site placard thing where the signing of the Mayflower Compact, so that was neat. So yeah, it was a really
very
cool
unexpected. So there's a lot to do on the Cape Cod National Seashore. The Junior Ranger book was fun. The beaches are beautiful. There's hikes. It is a great place to be. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can go to Martha's Vineyard, or you can go to Nantucket and all the places, or you can spend a whole lot of time just on the free Cape Cod National Seashore and have a blast, which we're going to do tomorrow too.
In fact, we're coming back. So today we kind of came and did like the historic side. Tomorrow we're going to just come back and do the fun beach side. So we got some friends that are here at the campground with us, so we're going to hook up with them and just come back and enjoy, kind of a beach day. So we'll see what we can get into tomorrow. Well, that was not the ending to the day that we had thought it would be. It was so funny. We were there with our friends, and she kept saying, all right, we got about 5 more minutes before we need to head, and we ended up just talking right past.
The kids were having so much fun. The waves were coming in really hard.
So by the time the sprinkles started and we gathered everything up, we were not even near to the car before the bottom dropped out. So
the good news is we got all the sand washed off of us because we got poured on all the way to a little gazebo and then hung out there, and Jake came and got us a car. But we had so much fun. We got to meet some new friends. We had some older friends here that we had met previously at a rally. So it's just nice to connect with those around us to make quick new friends. We got to see a lot of seals today. They were out just swimming, and the kids, they were really close today, so that was a lot of fun. And we had a really great time for the short amount of time we were there.
So we have really enjoyed the Cape Cod National Seashore. It has been amazing. All the lighthouses, and the hikes, and the drives, and history, and then just the fun sitting on the beach. So if you're near this area, we would definitely recommend this be a place that you come.
Yes. And we had 2 days worth of just free adventures. So it was packed all day yesterday, from first thing all the way through dinner time. Yesterday we were here exploring, and we just touched a fraction of it. Today we just enjoyed the beach. We also did get our ranger, our junior ranger book completed, and the neat thing about here is you get a choice between the wooden badge or a beautiful patch, and they are just wonderful. So make sure you stop by the visitor centers and you get your book, because your kids are really going to want one or one of the two of these, because it's really beautiful. So don't miss that. So we got to do that today, and so there's plenty to do. There were other hikes we'd have liked to see, more lighthouses that we could have explored. There is so much to do, and really you don't hardly have to spend a dime to do it. That's the nice thing.
Just realize if you come during the peak seasons of the summer, it does cost to go onto their beaches.
Yes, it does.
We're here early June, and that doesn't kick in until like middle of June. And so the rest of the time it's free, but just realize if you do come during their peak season, it is like $20, I think, to be able to get out onto their beaches. But it would have been worth that had we been during that time. So, so another great week for us. If you haven't followed our channel yet, we would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our crazy adventures. If you haven't seen some of our other videos, you can catch another one right down there as well. So until next time, go out and have some crazy fun with your crazy family. See you guys.
Bye, y'all.